Hello, hello. It is Betty Sakosha, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Massachusetts and team leader for Power of Positive Inking. And I just wanted to pop on and do a real quick video of a card that I have been featuring this past month, but was so fitting yesterday when I got together with some new stampers to make some cards during a snowstorm, or just prior to the snowstorm. We weren't on the road in the middle of the snowstorm, but just prior to it. So let me bring in my supplies and show you what we made. Just leave that up there. Okay, kind of the star of this show is the paper called Nests of Winter, 12 by 12 paper. This came out a year ago, and it actually had some matching stamps and dies at the time, but now the stamps and dies are gone, but the paper is still available and gorgeous and can make beautiful cards even without the rest of it. So here are some of the, look at these birds. Okay, I'm a big bird fan. If you're not, you might not feel the same, but if you are, you're gonna love this paper. Check out this one here with a whole birch forest filled with some happy little birds. These birds here can be cut out, fussy cut if you will. Not by me, but they can be. These birds here actually had dies previously that were available to cut them out, but they cut out if you're the fussy cut type person. And this beautiful 12 by 12, look at this. It takes nothing to cut this up into like little sections and make cards with hardly anything on it. You don't need much more than a simple greeting. And then the back sides of this paper, birch, green stripes, much more neutral. This little paper has, I don't even know what these are, but some kind of plant that looks all frosty with some birds on it. It's beautiful. Some snow, very generic, right? Like you can use that for anything. And these are like little tiny bird feet. See them? They look like nothing unless you know, if you know that this focus of this paper is birds. So I took a couple of these papers and I want to make a very, very simple layout for you, but it just seems fitting for the seasons. So let me pull out all my samples here. So these papers are an inch and a quarter by 3 inches. And I am not really interested in the green right now, but I wanted the birds and the birch and the pussy willows, I think, are pretty. I think this piece here goes nicely with this piece here. And then I just wanted a focal point of a cute little bird. When you cut these out, you get kind of birds in bird parts. You never sort of know what you're going to get, but I think this bird right here, I think this will work out nicely. So let me get rid of all my other guts of this. You clearly could use the other side of the paper if you want to. Ooh, that is also cute. I love this little guy here. But I think I'm going to work with this because this was my original thought. So I'll go with this, but whoo, he is cute. I think I'm going to put this like that, though. Like this guy's looking at that guy, maybe? I don't know. We'll get there. We'll get there. So this paper is just slightly larger. Let me give you a measurement on that. It is 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And we're going to take my 3 little pieces. I guess I got to commit right now to which way this is going. Yeah, I think I like it this way. That way he's looking into the rest of the card. Yeah, well, that's just the way that's what I've chosen. So it is what it is. Okay, so I'm just using some green glue. Use the adhesive of your choice on here. And I like to, whenever I'm doing 3s, I like to put down my 2 outside pieces and then work on the middle piece. See how that fits in. So this is going to go on. Is that the same? Well, it's hand cut. It is what it is. Okay, so that's going to go on the outside here. Do I have more of those? Of course, that's the one piece I didn't have extras of. is fine. It's fine. I'm not worried. Okay, and then this little piece here, I'm going to fit in the middle, leaving a little bit of a border on each side. Because I use green glue, I've got a little bit of wiggle room to move this to the outside. Not much, but a little. The thing about green glue is when it sticks for real. But as it's getting ready to stick, you can manipulate it as you will. Okay, so that will give me a little bit of room with a little bit more border around either side, which I'm gonna say is fine. Okay, there we go. So it's a nice way to do it is to do your two outsides and then your middle will fit where your middle will fit. Okay, my card base is going to be 5.5 by 8.5. And I don't pre-score anything because I'm not a particularly, well, I'm lazy. That's what it comes down to. But it doesn't matter because all you do is hold these two sides here, take your bone folder, start in the middle, go in either direction, and you're going to get a perfect fold. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're lazy. That's fine, but not quite enough. So I'm going to take a piece of white that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that will make it 1/4 inch smaller than your original card base. And I'm going to bring in my birch embossing folder. So this is a 3D folder, and birch, I believe, goes sideways like that as opposed to up and down. I think that's the way that the birch goes. So, or the birch bark, I guess. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Now I like it relatively straight, so I'm going to take this line. Can you see that line right there? That's the line on the Stampin' Up! Logo. And I'm going to line up my paper against that line. Close my embossing folder to hold it, and it will be a straight pattern. With this particular one, it doesn't matter all that much. On another one, it might matter more. And then there are some all over patterns that really don't matter, but this one, that's the way I'm going to do it. So I'm putting it on my base, my thick base platform. I'm using my gray top. What? An extra piece of paper that just flew in there, and then I'm just going to crank it through my big shot. And then out the other end. Yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that. That's so pretty. Always magic when it comes out there. I'm actually thinking I may add a little bit of color to this. You wouldn't have to, but I can't help myself. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of gray granite. Because I think it's going to be similar to this color right here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of color to this. Again, this is all optional. You wouldn't have to do this, but why not? And I'm just going to add it to my birch. Now, most of this is going to be covered up, but can you see how this pops it? Look at the difference between that and that. Oh, beautiful. It makes me not want to cover it all up. It is what it is. Okay, that's it. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, I'm going to glue this down here. You could use dimensionals. I'm using green glue, which will get in all the nooks and crannies. Pop that right like so. Then I'm going to take some dimensionals. And pop this focal point out like so. Now this pattern, this layout could work for all sorts of DSP, but I just feel like the winter season, it really is beautiful. If you're not the one shoveling, it really is beautiful. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to pull in my label. Okay, literally had all of this right in front of me. Here we go. Okay, here's my labels. Whew, cut a bunch because I'm anticipating trouble. But I'm mixing this paper in with this beautiful Snowflake Wishes stamp set. It's a greeting set that's got a lot of perfect things. I mean, they're nice things in general. There's some that are a little bit more generic to you and yours. Love, lots of love, and you're one of a kind. But then there's a lot of winter ones that work really well together. So I'm going to bring in the Happy Winter and put that on my outside. Happy Winter. And I'm going to put this diagonally on my block. A lot of people like to put their stamp straight across their block, but this one, well, I guess this one kind of fits, but it's close to the edge of the bevel of the block. So I tend to put them, if you go diagonal, it gives you more surface area to work with. And as long as you're looking at the stamp straight, it doesn't matter if the block is crooked. Okay, so I'm using Early Espresso, which is the same color as the background of my card, or is this, it is the card base, not the background. And wish me luck. Worked. First time. When you prep for an accident, you're more likely to not need them. Okay, so this little baby is going to go on the front. And I don't want to take away from this bird here or this cute little guy right there. So I'm going to stick my greeting right down here. And I'm going to put a dimensional. It's going to require a baby dimensional because it's close to the edge. But I'm going to put a dimensional just on this edge here. And then some green glue on the rest. And I'm going to tuck it right over here. The reason the dimensional under this first layer and the dimensional on this keeps everything at the same height, which is why I only put a dimensional on one side of it. Okay, then let's see. I'm going to bring in a linen thread bow. So I made this ahead of time. It is a great activity while watching TV to make bows. So I'm just sticking that right on my glue dot. Like so. And I'm going to put it on this side, even though, well, where do I want it? I am going to put it on this side. My original samples that I did, I had it on the other side, but I'll put it right there. Kind of like it because it's nature, right? It's very natural looking. Nice addition to the card. Okay, now on the inside, I'm going to use more of the words from this. So I think I'm going to use, let's see, if kisses were snowflakes, I'd send you a blizzard. That seems a lot. How about be warm and well? It's good and generic. You can send that to nearly anybody. The snowflake blizzard ones, that's got to be a special person in your life. This one could be for nearly anybody. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the inside and call it a dip. All right, so let's just pop this on the inside. Like so. And this card is nearly done. I have one last trick to show you. Since I have my embossing folder out, and the card was so simple to begin with, I'm going to show you how you can elevate your card by embossing your envelope. So when you're embossing an envelope, you actually can emboss the whole envelope or it won't go through the mail, but you can definitely emboss your flap on your envelope, and it really is going to add an elevated look to this. So I'm going to use this. What I've done is just stuck the flap. You see the back of it is loose here, but the flap is in my embossing folder. And I'm just going to pop it through the same way I did the first one with the base plate on the bottom. this plate on the top. Crank it through. And the big reveal. Hello. Maybe a little bit tough to see, but now you've got a birch flap on your envelope that matches your card perfectly. And as we started the card this way, why not finish the envelope that way? So I'm just going to add a little bit of I'm using the blending brush with a little bit of gray granite just to kind of pop that birch a little bit. And look at that. Oh, love it. In any case, I hope you love this and can see a purpose making winter cards, because the holidays are over and winter seems like it's going to be here for quite a while. So this is kind of a nice way for us to focus on the beauty of winter as opposed to the aggravation of winter. And you could also use this layout for nearly anything. So pull out your DSP. This was 1 1/4 inches by 3 inches, and you can do a lot with that. So thanks for stopping by. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you would make a winter card, if you've overlooked this paper in the catalog, go look for it. It's called, I've forgotten already, Nests of Winter. All right, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Bye.